Hello, I'm Steven. Let's learn how to graft using the Kitchener stitch. I most frequently use this technique on the corners of my shawls. As you're binding off at the end, you need to graft those corners together. So let's learn how to do it. Let's graft some stitches together. This happens at the end of your I-cord bind-offs, and the pattern says graft the remaining 6 stitches together using Kitchener stitch. I just bound off my last stitch and I have 3 stitches on the right needle and 3 stitches on the left needle. These are my 6 remaining stitches. Break your yarn, leaving a tail about this long. And then before we graft, we need to change the position of our needle, our left needle, like this, so that our needle tips are facing to the right and the purl bumps of the 3 stitches are kissing each other. So I'm looking at the smooth knit stitches on the outside and the purl bumps facing each other. Place the broken strand of yarn onto a tapestry needle and go through the first stitch on the front needle purlwise. Go through the back stitch, the first stitch on the back needle, knitwise. Now go through the front stitch on the front needle knitwise and take it off the needle. Go through the next stitch on the front needle purlwise. Leave it on. The back needle, go through the first stitch purlwise, take it off, and go through the next stitch knitwise. Leave it on. Front needle, go through the first stitch knitwise, take it off. Next stitch purlwise. Leave it on. The back needle, purlwise off. Knitwise, leave it on. And to finish, let's go through the front stitch knitwise and the back stitch purlwise. That is all there is to it. Here is that I-cord corner grafted together. It makes a seamless connection from the edge of your shawl to the bound off top of the shawl. So a really nice seamless corner, and that looks really beautiful on the finished shawls as well. You can't even see where that happened, and that's the point. Well, that was pretty quick and painless. Once you learn this grafting technique, any pattern that calls for Kitchener stitch, you now know how to do it, okay? So that little corner is a good practice, and if you want to give it some more practice, you could try it on the Bubbles and Brioche shawl. You have to knit the whole shawl first before you get to Kitchener stitch. So it's a little reward at the end of your project. You got to finish that border so that you can graft that little corner together. I'll link down below in the description box. There's a video on how to cast on this shawl and how to do brioche. So if you've never done brioche before, try the Bubbles and Brioche and you can learn all those new things. Another project that teaches you how to do brioche stitch, and it's a Westknits classic, is the Exploration Station shawl. If you haven't knit Exploration Station, what are you waiting for? It is so much fun, and you only need 4 colors to work this shawl. 1 color as the main, this dark gray, and 3 contrast colors. So it works really well with really subtle combinations or very high contrast color palettes. I'll also link in the description box the videos for Exploration Station. I walk you through step by step how to work each section. Okay, what else can we graft now that you have this tool to unlock all these projects? The Painting Waves shawl also has I-cord edges, and it has that little corner graft at the end. I really like this shawl because it looks really fun and wavy and a little fancy, but it's super simple. This is probably the easiest shawl that I have on the table here. So if you want something more simple but impactful, I would try the Painting Waves. And the great thing about this design is you can stop early at any point. So after any stripe, you can just bind off and call it done so that you can cast on another shawl. Once you make one, it's not just one and done. You have to take another bite. It's like potato chip knitting. You knit one shawl. I only knit shawls so that I can knit the next one. So if you're a West knitter, you gotta have a shawl for every day of the week and then every day of the month. And then I've lost count now. I could have a shawl for every day of the year almost. This is the Slipstravaganza. So there's a lot going on to this shawl, but it has that little corner grafting trick, and it's just so neat and so smooth. You're gonna have these perfectly finished shawls, and you're gonna really impress your friends with those grafting techniques. So I can't wait to see what you do with this technique and what project you cast on. Keep sharing your progress, and I'll catch y'all in the next video.